Mark Regev, the operation that you're engaged in is Protective Edge, and its stated purpose is to protect Israeli civilians. How does killing children on a beach contribute to that purpose?
Well, it doesn't.
You have sophisticated ships offshore there with some of the best and most forensic sighting and visual capacity. It's pretty hard to confuse boys running around with a ball on a beach.
Well, let me be clear here. The story with these 4 boys is a tragedy. You can't look at those pictures and not be moved. But let's be clear. The Israeli military does not target civilians. It does not target children. And I don't believe the person who, if it wasn't Israeli, who fired and killed those 4 boys knew that they were children.
We get to our second incident today, where our own correspondent witnessed yet another shell coming in from the sea and hitting 3 boys, one of whom escaped actual injury, was merely shell-shocked. The father was injured, the 2 boys were injured. More civilians, more sighting, more error. That's the nature of war. That's what you're up to, war. And you seem to be happy for it to, frankly, well, if it results in dead children, dead women, that's it. What was the point of bombing the El Wafa hospital, for goodness sake?
Unless I'm misheard, and maybe it's a different hospital.
It is indeed the right hospital, but he was there and the rockets were near the hospital, but not actually in the premises. And you bombed the premises.
Well, once again, hostile fire, and we were acting to try to neutralize the hostile fire.
You are deliberately targeting neighborhoods in which you know there are women and children. And if your sightings can't see boys playing football on a huge, wide beach, then there's something wrong with your equipment.
Well, let's be clear here. If you want to go back to the beach, one of the reporters, who I've read all the material that's come out, actually said he thought when he heard the explosion, it was outgoing rockets. And of course, it wasn't in the end.
That despite the most sophisticated weaponry in the whole of the Middle East, you have proved a very serious point. You do not have the capacity. You cannot forensically attack an urban area without killing women and children. Ergo, you have factored in that you will kill children and women. 3 days ago, the United Nations questioned very urgently whether it was Nader Pillay who actually raised this question of whether you are, in fact, targeting people and committing a war crime thereby. It's in the air. You've tried 3 wars. You've tried virtually everything with Hamas. You've tried everything with Gaza. You've besieged it for 7 years. The people live an intolerable and ghastly life, and you know that better than anybody. Why don't you try one other thing? Talking. Why not talk? Why not be brave and talk directly with them? Why not?
But, John, that's exactly what happened yesterday.
You talked directly with them? You did not. You did not speak to them. You did not speak to them. And the Egyptians, who were the negotiators, did not speak to them. That is not speaking to Hamas. Why won't you speak with Hamas directly? You haven't got the courage.
I'm not sure. No, I'm not sure that's said. I spoke to all the relevant parties. And
Mr. Regev, we're going to have to leave it there.
Check that.
But there's the question in the air. Thank you very much for joining us.
The acts and omissions complained of by the applicant appear to be capable of falling within the provisions of the Genocide Convention. In the Court's view, at least some of the acts and omissions alleged by South Africa to have been committed by Israel in Gaza appear to be capable of falling within the provisions of the Convention. In light of the following, the Court concludes that, prima facie, it has jurisdiction pursuant to Article 9 of the Convention to entertain the case. Given this conclusion, the Court considers that it cannot accede to Israel's request that the case be removed from the general list.